Now that we have our loom put together, making sure that we have our arrows on both sides match up on the same inner and outer ring, we're going to take a stitch marker. We're going to put it on that first peg. You don't have to. If you can find that little arrow, it will be fine. There's other ways that you can mark that first peg. Now then, for the cast on, you are going to need to make a slip knot and place it on that first peg. And stick our tail down through there. Now then, in order to cast on, you are not coming directly across to this peg. You're going to go one over. And then whenever you come down here, you're going to skip a peg and wrap that peg. And then back up and down. And we are going to do this all the way around, skipping every other peg on both the inside and the outside rails. And then whenever we get down here to the end, see, we're up here, but then we're here. And what we need to do after we wrap that one up there, we're going to come back down to this one here and wrap it. Now that will put 3 in a row right here. This is what makes the round, going in the round, a little bit different than the flat double knitting. Now then, we're going to come back up to this one and we're going to go around the second time. Now then, and we are going to catch every other one again, but this time doing the ones that were not wrapped the first time. Now we're back to here. Now all of the pegs are wrapped once. So we're going to wait right here. We're going to push it all down, and then we are going to put in our anchor yarn. There. Now I just pulled this little ball of leftover yarn out of my stash. And then you're going to take it, just wrap it around, make it just longer than the loom goes around. Snip it, and then you're going to run it on the inside between the 2 rings or rails. And then once you get it in there, just take like a crochet hook, run it up through from the bottom, catch the ends of the tail of the anchor, and then pull it through. Now we are going to finish casting on. Now our last loop was here, but don't worry about that, because we're just going to come back here to the first one again, and we are going to repeat the same thing so that there's 2 loops on each one. So skipping this one again, that's directly across, 1 over, and then skipping every other one on both sides, making a kind of a wave pattern. We are going to go back around the loom for the first time. Now then, we're back around to the front. We're going to wrap this one. Once again, we do this one. And then start again, going around by catching that one and going every other peg again. Now then, as you see, I've come back around. There's 2 loops on all the pegs. And all of them are wrapped. Now then, we are going to knit off. Now you can go ahead and catch this one first so that it won't unravel on you. Then you go to the outside and you are going to just hook over the bottom over the top. Now I like, and this is just me, I hold my finger behind the peg to keep the top loop on, and then I push it on down. And whenever I get going, I can get around here pretty fast. And then you just move the loom as you go. Sometimes they seem loose, and that's okay. You just keep going around the loom. And I am using the knitting board loom pick that comes with some of the older looms instead of the one that comes with this loom. The one that comes with this loom is the blue, but these are round, where the blue one has a thumb rest on it, a flat spot, and I roll my pick, as you can see. Whenever I lift my stitches over, I don't move my wrist over or anything. I just catch it, twist it, and lift it. So continue that around for the first side, and then we will do the inside. Now then, we are back around on the outside, and remember, it's okay to have the stitches loose. That's normal. You can move that over if you want, and yes, it has wrapped itself around the loom as I go, but you don't have to unwrap it at this point, and I'll show you why. Because we are now going to do the back. But we're not doing it from this angle. We're not moving the loom. We're just going to go across here. And we are going to do this because there's not really a reason to do the outside and then the inside at the same time. And whenever you are working even in the same direction that you were doing, in other words, going this way, the loom turns the opposite direction and it will unwrap your yarn from around the loom. See the working yarn here? And it will unwrap it. So not really anything to get distressed over if it wraps around the loom. And then just continue lifting the bottom over the top. And just gently turning it as you go until all the loops are over. And there we are, the last one on the inside. So here, as you can see, we have got all of them looped over and ready to go to whichever stitch after this cast on. You can work in stockinette, which is the same wrap as we did for the cast on, or you can do ribbing at this point.